I got to play the highly anticipated Battlefield 2042 class rework update for the game early, and today I'm going to be showing you the new Breakaway rework map and tell you what I think about all of it. Now, this gameplay was recorded at a private capture session hosted by EA, and the first thing I'll say is that this was a very short play session, 1 hour of total gameplay. So I won't be able to give you any grand conclusions about the overall balance or how it's going to change the game in the long run. This will be a first impressions video and one based on a very limited amount of playtime. Now that said, I did get to see the new Breakaway map and it looks solid. There's also some more portal weapons coming into the game, the PP2000 SMG, the MTAR-21 assault rifle, the M249 Bravo machine gun, and the M39 EMR marksman rifle. So let's get into it. Here we are on Breakaway with its new ice shaders, and I gotta say it does look great. I'm defending, and already the progression and flow of the map feels way better than it did before, though I don't think you can base jump on the attacking side. I asked someone who was playing on the other team and it seems like you can't do it anymore, so if that is the case, it is a disappointment that one of the cooler sequences in this game died along with the 128 player breakthrough mode. Maybe one day DICE can add it back in. Now that said, the flow of the map does begin back up on the giant iceberg. It has two different sectors and then it moves down to the oil rig and finally finishes at the larger base for the final sector. It's totally backwards compared to the previous 64 player breakthrough version, but it's undeniably better. I don't even think you can fight around those giant round oil tanks on this version of the map. Now, I wish I had a chance to play on the attacking team so I could have tried out some of the cliff jumps and Sundance gameplay, but alas, that'll just have to wait for final release. I spent a good amount of time using the tracer dart. Ultimately, the UI for it is kind of confusing. The lock-on UI sticks on the vehicle if you hit it, but then the lock-on indicator disappears when you switch away from the tracer dart gun, which I thought meant that the tracer dart was like running out of batteries or something. Apparently it's not, it just goes away when you switch off your weapon, which is weird. Also, the yellow square UI around the dart when you shoot it makes it really hard to judge its velocity compared to, say, the Bad Company 2 version. I had a really hard time figuring out if I was overshooting or undershooting my target. It definitely needs a UI rework in my opinion. And despite locking onto a bunch of vehicles, sadly nobody shot rockets at them. So I didn't really have a chance to see if the tracer darts were effective or not. It's going to be one of those, well, we'll just have to wait and see type of gadgets. Now, I did want to test out the recon class more, but defensively on the two maps we were playing, it just wasn't a great class to play and there wasn't a huge amount of usage for the spawn beacons. The always active steady scope felt marginally different. I don't know, when I snipe it's usually really quick shots and I barely notice the scope sway, but it might be more impactful to your style of sniping. Now switching over to the engineer, the lock-on javelin seems like it can almost two-shot a tank, though I'm not sure how much it's affected by countermeasures. When the tank activated its smoke, it seems like it made it so I was unable to lock on, but I'm not sure if it'll also break a lock on a missile that's already in the air. It needs to be tested more. Tank-heavy maps might make this a solid rocket launcher pick, though I wasn't really able to test out how far its lock-on range was. Now, having a repair tool all the time for engineer seems like a fantastic upgrade. I think on its own, this will be one of the bigger changes, making the relationship between infantry and vehicles much different. Crawford, who is now an engineer class, gets a critical repair ability, so he can repair heavily damaged vehicles even faster. He also repairs deployed gadgets faster. I hope that doesn't make it too game-breaking when he's used in a VTOL or a Hind, but it could exacerbate the air tank pandemic. Now, while trying out Assault, the extra mags were really nice. It kind of felt like old school ammo capacity of Battlefield 4/Battlefield 3 era. That said, if you're already comfortable switching ammo to your backup mags, then the extra mags might not be that big of an incentive to use assault rifles with the Assault class all the time. Now, the Assault's self-heal pen is a one-time use, so you need to replenish gadget ammo before you can self-heal again. This certainly prevents the Assault from becoming too overpowered, and replenishing gadget ammo becomes even more important for this class. I did see a bunch of claymores going down when we played, though I never got hit by one and I only got one kill with one. Now when it comes to support, I was really eager to play Irish while playing on defense. Reviving and deploying his sentries is a crazy powerful combo. Also, he gets Crawford's cash point ability, so when he revives teammates, he gives them extra gadget ammo, which is pretty darn cool. He could definitely become one of the go-to defensive classes. He's kind of like the king of choke points, so I expect to see his usage increase even more. Now, as for gameplay in general, I felt much more reliant on getting ammo and meds from teammates. Granted, I wasn't playing Falk because she really didn't get any major class changes, so if I was playing Falk, I might not feel that way since she can distribute both. So while playing other classes, I did notice myself looking at the minimap a bit more to see if there were ammo crates around, and that's generally a good thing and should hopefully incentivize players to stick together or stay closer to their team. But beyond certain feelings about the gameplay, the real test is going to be on the public servers. This hour-long play session was just me and other people testing out the new gadgets and features, so it was really a terrible representation of what actual gameplay is going to be. Once live, the true impact of all these changes is going to become much more apparent. I have no doubt that some tweaks and changes will be needed, but I think it's a good change overall. It doesn't feel particularly dramatic, so if you're expecting like an entirely different gameplay experience, well, it's not. It's not like squads of players are all working together in perfect synergy or anything like that, but again, I think we're going to notice the nuances much more over time. It does still leave me wishing that there were more tools to sync up players using stuff like the SoFlam's tracer darts, Rao's hacking ability, with players carrying rockets. I think those gadgets and synergies need some design rework to try and help players work together more to take down vehicles and synergize, basically. And sadly, there's no beating around the bush. Without question, DICE is shoehorning classes into this game versus it being designed from the ground up around class-based gameplay. And it's certainly not a bad job considering where the whole class balance began. But you'll probably notice that certain specialists feel really misplaced in their respective classes. Is this going to be a big problem for the game? Probably not. I think in general they've been really smart with the changes that they've made, but ultimately I'm just sitting here hypothesizing at this point because, again, I only played for an hour, so I'm really scraping the barrel here, trying to pull out little nuggets of insight from the way too short play session. Also, I know someone's going to mention it, I didn't grab footage with the new Portal weapons. Initially, I was just going to try and play and see how different the game felt while using the guns I was more familiar with, and then play with them in the later half of the recording session, but it was such a short play session it ended before I realized, and then I basically didn't capture any footage with the new guns, and that'll just be one more thing to test out when the patch ultimately launches. They are Portal weapons at the end of the day, so you're not going to be able to slap all those cool 2042 attachments on them. Anyway, I know a lot of fans have been waiting for this patch and are eager to jump back in. What do you guys think from my limited insights so far? Are you guys excited for this patch? Do you think any of the classes are going to be overpowered, underpowered? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to check out a cool video I made on all the forgotten features of the Battlefield franchise, check out this video here. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.